I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this. It was the day after the party, and Zammi was sprawled on the couch in Marius's office, his tall frame taking up both seats as he leaned against the armrest. The space between Zammi and Dr. Monroe was filled with a large hollow, showing dozens of documents, images, videos, and three-dimensional reconstructions. The days when the committee had to fight for access to data are mostly long past, Marius said. I'd like to think it's because people have begun to realize the utility of having a third party involved, but I suspect it's nothing so noble. We're supposed to sort through the data dump for them, Zammi suggested, idly flicking through the mountain of material on the hollow which had been sent from Utopia Invest, the owner of the mining rights to the asteroid where the wreckage of Lupa Capitolina had been found. They're trying to use us as free data management. Marius snorted, the corner of his mouth barely twitching in his version of a wry smile. They're trying to drown us in crap, he said. They've forgotten that manure makes a great fertilizer. Marius was a dapper, brown-skinned man somewhere in his 50s or 60s. The slate gray handlebar mustache he wore was really the only indicator of his age, other than his stories from the old days and his early years at Mars University. Of course, he wasn't a professor then, rather one of the students in the relatively new history department. He'd never left. Going on to graduate work, then tenure, then department head. He was personable, passionate, and his students generally loved him. Of course, Marius roped his favorite student, now colleague, into his pet project as soon as he possibly could, convincing Zammi to sign on with the COC. They've obviously been busy, Marius said, indicating the dossier with his finger. The first thing to keep in mind is that this is just a preliminary report. It's a compilation of everything that's known about the crash to date, but it's not complete. It never is. And, in case it wasn't abundantly obvious, there probably won't be another report. Anything else we find, we'll have to get on our own. On our own? Marius shrugged. It's a free system, even more free in the rocks. There isn't a single authority out there. Anyone can ask questions. You mean on the ground investigating? Zammi's voice rose in pitch. Like actually go out there and sift through debris. The thought of trawling through a crash site made his stomach tighten. If you like, sure, though that's not quite what I was thinking. What we really need is a proper scan. It won't take long before the site is contaminated or worse, cleaned up. We need to get someone there before that happens. If you were inclined to ask a few questions, well, that would be fine too. Zammi nodded. That was more like what was in his wheelhouse.